Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. Nexon has given me early access to the 64-bit client, and with this video I want to share my findings and expectations for when this update goes live. This update is expected to drop around the 16th of March, and with this update the game will turn into a lovely 64-bit game, which is twice as much as the 32-bit game that it now is. But will MapleStory's performance also be twice as good? Let's start with a quick test to see how the live client and 64-bit client are doing when we're launching the game. And to quickly fill the time and answer some questions, that we're getting a new client does for example not mean that the game will start working on Mac right now. There's no Mac client and the game will remain unavailable on Macs, officially at least. The new client will allow Maplers to set how much memory, how much RAM the game can use, so that does mean that memory leaks where some graphics just disappear for a while are a thing of the past. However, I am interested in seeing if this for example also fixes the issues that Hayato has, because that class memory leaks like no tomorrow. Launching the 32-bit client, which is the current live client, takes me about 45 seconds, and launching the test client and getting to the same screen takes me about 42 seconds. So that improvement is basically non-existent. Which is interesting, because I remember testing the 64-bit client in Korea when that was released, and that one was a lot faster compared to our live client back then. There is also now a new window in the option UI that allows you to select how much memory you want MapleStory to use and to enable memory mapping. You'll have to have this enabled to feel most of the improvements though. The biggest improvement so far that I noticed was that when there are a lot of numbers on the screen, when you're dumping all your burst on a monster, there is basically no lag anymore whatsoever, no frame rate drops, nothing like that, which does make the game feel a lot smoother. I tried out different classes that Nexon prepared for me, like Hoyoung, Lara, Nightlord and Dual Blade, and all played pretty smoothly no matter how many skills, animations and numbers I threw on the screen. In the test server, some things like Legion and the cash shop aren't available though, so I cannot showcase that unfortunately. And I also didn't have any spawn boosters to see how the game performed with increased monster spawn, so I quickly made a counter to figure that out. And while playing, some of the client improvements were noticeable, while others were kinda the same. For example, changing channels actually felt a lot faster, but I'm not sure if that's because of the client or because I'm on the test server. And sometimes loading into maps and hitting monsters for the first time did feel like there was a bit of stuttering here and there. And when I did get my counter to third job to unlock Kishin to boost the spawn rate, I did not notice any major difference in game performance really. Bossing felt fine, but I was going in just by myself. In MapleSea and Maple Korea, the players actually had a lot of issues with additional lag when the 64-bit client was first released, especially when bossing with multiple players. So I'm concerned that this might happen to us as well. These additional performance hiccups were later patched in KMS, and MapleSea is getting some fixes as well in their new update. Opening up some UI windows like the smithing tab would still lag in the test client. I was still freezing and disconnecting when extracting familiars, and I also checked some other bugs like the Golox DC and Hoyoung CC bugs, which are all still happening. Since this is still an earlier iteration of the test client, it doesn't mean those won't be fixed by the time the update goes live, by the way. This is still the test client after all. I shared my findings with Nexon as well, so let's hope that some of these issues can still be fixed, and perhaps we can get the improved stable version of the 64-bit client right away. Also next week I will have access to a newer test client, which I think will also include the Pink Bean and Yeti classes, so stay tuned for those videos and streams when we're checking out those two. And that's already the end of what I found so far in the test client, so some minor improvements, but things do feel mostly the same still. It still might be too early to draw like final conclusions, so let's wait and see for next week and if any of these issues will be fixed by then. And as always, many thanks to our members for making these videos possible. Thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar maar waar, Sebastian, Hanoy, FLX, Ryalias, Terry Kim, Vareese, Kaudimora, Wiley, Historycanon, BackSpaceOTI, Saffronyx, Lonzo, BG Extremes, Anwar NHI, Frank Bouquet, Ziggy Deer, Flidiot, Beamer WT, Knifesu, Chen125, Cloudfix, Gusus Rodriguez, Froggy, Gleason, Brandon Cam, Vira, Trevor, Michael Machaka, Ratius, Justin Vale, Silvio Nato, Stevie Zhang, Afterlord_MS, Heopan, ceemak, Striker Elk, Martin Panzik, Niu, Tidal1 Pan, Victor Sundstrom, Radicals the Alien, Riser RU, Gummy Bullet, Lucky Beats, Lovebird, Rev Soli, Certito655, Mathias Simonsson, Mr. Anarch, Galando Walavia, I'm disappointed, my name is Coppersan and I'm super cute XOXO, PC Game Life, Yo Mama, Dante Victory, Stanislaus Xumo Vegas, Level 241, Paladin Reboot, Caveman, oh yeah, Crazy Ladette and The Passenger. Thank you so much for watching, stay safe and happy mapling!